In this video, we're going to take you through the estimate details page. We're going to start by looking at capturing information about your estimate in that page, and we're also going to look at how to save files and add notes. Now, to begin, we find ourselves in the estimate details, which will be the first tab you'll see when you are in the estimate. And starting with, we're going to see a couple of things here, such as the estimate details. This will largely be pre-populated, but from here, obviously, we can go through and change the reference number if you have a particular naming convention and you use them, or we can change the original estimate name or description that we would have given it when we created it. From here, we can also change the works location. So again, this would have been pre-filled when you created the estimate, but perhaps if you need to change it at this stage, you absolutely can. Further down, we're going to have the client details section, and this is really where it's a subtle but important distinction that we're now putting in information related to the client versus the actual works location itself. And the idea here is that we're going to use each of these addresses and each of these bits of information in various areas in BuildExact, but specifically, we're going to see the client details is going to be populated on any client-facing documentation. So again, that'll include things like quote letter, change orders, outgoing invoices, and so on and so forth, whereas the works location is going to be used for more internal facing purposes. So examples include things like purchase orders or requests for quote, just to name a few. So on that, it is important to make sure that you have both the work location and the client details filled out. Otherwise, when you get to various later stages in BuildExact, and if those addresses are blank, then those areas in those boxes or portals will also be blank as well. Further down on this screen, we're going to see a little notes section in here. And this is really exactly what it sounds, that opportunity to begin to leave notes about the particular project. So as an example, perhaps you've had a conversation with a client and they've given some information about what they would like on the estimate or some elements of what they want included in the project. So I might go ahead here and say, client likes blue tiles or something like that. So it's really just allowing me to get that information off of my head into the system where I can go back and refer to it, or anybody else, any other users in BuildExact who have access to the system where they may log in and get access to that information later on. Further down, for those who've in the upgraded plans, we'll also have the client portal section here. And this is where you can do things like preview it, you can rename it, you can see the current client portal status, and of course, this is one of a few different areas you can invite the client in. If you are curious about the client portal, we do have other videos that covers off on that in a little bit more detail. Down at the bottom here, we also find this little documents widget. Now, this documents widget is all across BuildExact, and it basically operates exactly the same. The idea here is that essentially this allows you to get information off of your computer or off of your phone and into BuildExact, where it can then either be further shared or at the very least saved in one spot. Now, how to get information in here is quite easy. I can either click inside this perforated box, which will then prompt me to then search my computer, or as I'll do here today, I'm just going to click and drag from my bottom screen to my top screen till I land over this perforated box, and you'll see that that perforation has now gone to a solid line and it's highlighted. I'll let the mouse go, and from here, it'll pick up the name of the document, or in this case, the picture that I'm uploading, and I can go ahead and create a new folder. So I'll just call it kitchen as an example. This is really just, again, giving it a spot where I can then more easily access that later on. And now that's been uploaded for me to either access or share or download on another device or whatever else I may need at that stage. And that's how to use the estimate details.